great. So, as you know, I'm Vanilla and I'm a junior in high school. So, today I'm going to be interviewing you about your real estate profession. So, let's start off with the first question. What are your main responsibilities as a real estate agent?
As a real estate agent, I represent either the seller or the buyer in purchasing or selling a home.
Okay, that's very interesting. So, second question. How many years have you been working as a real estate agent?
I was licensed in New Jersey in 1997. I was with Century 21 for 10 years and now with Remax for 15, for a total of 25 years full
Oh,
time.
wow. So, you have a lot of experience in that field. I'm sure you know all the ins and outs, I'm sure.
I still learn something new every day.
Oh, wow, that's very interesting. That's very I never hear that from a lot of people about their profession. So that's cool. Um, what kinds of decisions do you make as a real estate agent?
Our decisions could be referrals, who to direct the buyer to as far as an attorney, inspectors, um, negotiating decisions. Right now, the market is very conducive of a multiple offer situation. So sometimes when we call best and final, we might have 8 contracts to choose from. So we usually sit down with the seller and go through each one, their pros and cons, and come to a mutual decision on who we think the best buyer is for the home.
Oh, wow. So there's a lot of things to deal with. Does it get overwhelming after a while?
Sometimes it does get overwhelming, and that's where strategy focus and making lists and being very detail oriented really helps.
So a lot of planning is needed in this profession, right?
Correct.
Okay. So what are some real world problems you deal with at your job?
Some of the real world problems would be inspection issues, like a failed septic, which is very costly, coordinating dates. Um, I had one family that was purchasing a home, and the pool was in a wetlands area. So they had to cancel the contract, but they were committed to selling their home to a young family with children. So they went through with that closing and unfortunately were relocated. They had to move into a hotel, put their stuff in storage. So that's a little stressful for everyone at that point because you like the family to be settled in and in their new home.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of things to think about. There's so many complications that could do a lot of damage and I'm sure like can change your plans, right?
Yes, Vanilla, you're absolutely right.
Um, so what would you say are the three main skills one must have in order to be a successful real estate agent?
First skill would probably be marketing. It's really important to have a grasp of marketing, especially in today's technology world. You really need to make sure that the advertising is reaching all the consumer. Second is what you had mentioned before about being very detail oriented and not being overwhelmed, having a strategy. Third would probably be negotiation skills. It's probably one of the largest investments that a family has. So it's very important to capitalize on the negotiating skills.
Okay, that's interesting. So you would say if someone were to go into real estate, if they focused on these three main skills, they would you know, be more likely to succeed, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Uh, so on a scale of 1 to 10, how much would you say college has prepared you for your job as a real estate agent?
I would definitely say a 10. It's so important to attend college and um, hone in on all these different skills that are needed, whether it's social people skills, um, social skills, marketing skills, detail skills, being able to prepare the contract, assist with the attorney review period. attorney review period could be 3, 4, 5 days with several letters, 4 or 5 pages long, going back and forth, detailing the different paragraphs of the contract. And it's important to be able to follow along because usually the buyer and seller will call you for your opinion or a strategy and how to resolve some of the issues.
Oh, wow. It seems like there's a lot of things that you need to, get down and pay attention to. So I'm sure it's really important to, you know, attend a college that teaches you all these skills and, teaches you what to prioritize and, um, what to really spend your time and effort on so you can become the best real estate agent possible. Uh, what's your most favorite and your least favorite part of being a real estate agent?
I have to say that I love it all. So I can't tell you that there's a least favorite. I guess that's why I've been doing it for so long. Even the stressful things, I monstered through it and sort of love it all, to be honest. Um, the most rewarding is, the look on the family's faces when they finally get to close, because it is a 60-day process. And sometimes the hunt is even longer than that, especially in this market now where some buyers are putting 6, 7, 8 offers until they get accepted. So, when the day finally comes and, they have the keys in their hand and they're so excited about moving in, that by far is probably my favorite part of the process.
Well, that's very interesting. And it's actually pretty rare that I hear somebody say that there's not really any least favorite part to their job because I see a lot of people focusing on the negatives and always complaining about their job. But I think you're definitely the first person who said you enjoy almost every part of it.
Mhm.
Uh, would you recommend becoming a real estate agent?
Oh, yes, definitely. It's so rewarding. There's so many positive attributes to it. You can make your own hours, you get to work from home. I was able throughout my career to still be able to be around for my family and to make my own hours and being able to balance my career with my family life.
Oh, that's great. There's not many jobs that, allow you to be that flexible. So it's like your own boss in a kind of way, right?
Yes, you're an independent agent. Yes.
Okay, that's great. That's great. Um, I think a lot of people in the younger generation would find that very enticing, their job not being like completely taking their life over.
Right,
I think
right.
that's a flexibility is a very important quality that people look for. So,
It's nice not to
uh,
have a 9 to 5 and you're tied to a desk. So throughout
yeah,
the years, I really did enjoy that type of freedom.
yeah. I always hear my friends and even myself like talk about how we dread, going to a 9 to 5 job. So I think that's great again. Uh, okay, on to the last question. What inspired you to become a real estate agent?
Helping people, it's so rewarding. Like a young couple that has just uh, been married and they're so excited about buying their first home and buying their dream house. Or, in a few years later, I get a phone call that they're growing their family and they need more bedrooms, or that someone has gotten a big promotion and they're looking to buy a bigger home with a pool. So, all those steps, because I've been in the business for so many years, I've been lucky to see the same family grow and I've been able to grow with them. So that's been really rewarding.
Oh, wow. I actually did not think about that. I did not think about how families might call you years later and, say that they're upsizing or downsizing. And you get to see like how they progress through the years and how their career and their family has progressed. I think that's really cool.
Mhm.
Uh, yeah.
Like,
And I'm sure you get to share a lot of happy moments with them too.
yeah, I had a couple that just called me last week. They were retiring, and the kids were all out of college, and they were so excited. They're moving to Florida, so it's interesting to be with them in all the different phases and chapters of their life.
Yeah, I'm sure. And I think personally, I think that's one of the most interesting and most enticing part of being a real estate agent. So yeah. Well, that was the last question. I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your day to be a part of this interview.
It was my pleasure, Vanilla. I think you did an amazing job with your questions and with your comments.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good night.
Good night.